Right, okay folks, it's another one of these mad drive Friday Waffle things. Yeah, the reason I do these is because I don't have any time to record it in the house because I'm out and about, and yeah, whilst I realise it's not the perfect solution, it's not the best camera, though some would argue that's not the case, because, you know, watching this is probably better than looking at my face. The only problem is it's the same journey you get every time. But anyway, hey, let's stop complaining about it. It's a Friday Waffle, so you know. Yeah, I hope you're all good. It's Friday, thankfully. What have I been doing this week? Last weekend, yeah, last weekend I had COVID. If you tuned into my Friday Waffle, which I did, was it on Friday? I think it was on the Friday. Yeah, I'm sure it was. You'll know that. Yeah, I was all right. I'm trying to think how it worked. I didn't feel particularly great on, was it the Thursday night, something like that. It was just, I mean, it didn't feel any worse than having a cold, if I'm being honest. You know, I didn't think anything of it. But my girlfriend's, she's particularly paranoid about getting ill, because to be fair, she does have a few issues that she's kind of got to cope with, and you know, the last thing you want to do is get COVID on top of it. So she said, oh, you better do a COVID test. So I did one, and it was positive. So that completely scuppered my my weekend. It scuppered my Friday, and it scuppered my Saturday, my entire weekend in fact. And yeah, the reason I'm going this way is because they're doing building works just along the road from my house, so you've got to go through this little diversion, which is a complete pain in the arse. So yeah, what was I talking about? And the Friday I was meant to be, God, you're travelling, mate, fucking hell. See this junction here coming up on the right hand side, the junction coming up that I'm about to turn into, just coming up here. When I'm coming from my work, I'm sitting in the right there waiting to turn right, and it's impossible, well, it's not impossible, but it can be quite tricky getting out, because the cars that come from the direction that I've just come, they're absolutely flying. It's like a downhill section, they're flying down, and you just can't get out, you know, and it's like, fucking just either slow up a wee bit, let me out, or else, you know. Anyway, so yeah, I wasn't feeling great on the Thursday. Friday I felt 100%, didn't feel ill at all, but I was still positive on the Friday, and I was meant to be going to a gig. I was meant to be going along to see my mate's band, and I couldn't go for obvious reasons, because if I hadn't done a test I would have gone, but because you know that you have got this, then I think you'd be a bit of a git to knowingly mingle with people knowing that you've got COVID, you know, because whilst it's I mean, the funny thing is, 3 years ago, if you got COVID, it was like you had the plague. People, oh, stay away, and now it's like, oh, you got COVID, no, that's fine. If you feel alright, then don't worry about it. It's funny how it's gone from being this really serious disease to like, whatever, play it by ear. But the thing is, and I do kind of understand why people are saying, well, what was going on? But for elderly people or people who don't keep well, it can still be a killer, and I certainly don't want to knowingly put people at risk, because that's just that's not something you want to do. And I'm just going to turn the air conditioning up a wee bit, or is it down? Yeah, I want to make it colder, that's better. So that was that, and then on Saturday I was meant to be going through my girlfriend's, but obviously I couldn't. So that was it. I think I took the dogs out a walk on the Saturday, and that was the only thing I did all weekend. Monday didn't do very much. Tuesday I was playing pool. Wednesday, didn't do very much. Oh, I did a video on Wednesday actually. Yeah, what did I do? I did an Arcade Perfect my arse. And here's the thing, folks. I think I have done it's almost 130 Arcade Perfects. And whilst there are still thousands of arcade games, not thousands, but there's probably still a lot of games I could cover. It's got to be games that I want to kind of play, games that I've got some sort of like knowledge of. And yeah, I mean, I mentioned before, I mean, things like I could do a Mortal Kombat Arcade Perfect. Thing is, most versions that came out, like the SNES, the Mega Drive, the Amiga, they were all pretty good. And I just think they all look the same as well. It would be an extremely dull and boring Arcade Perfect. I prefer doing ones where every version is completely different. I mean, a bit like, say, Outrun. You know that Outrun on the C64 is going to be nowhere near the same as the PC Engine or the Mega Drive, whatever. So it's interesting, but to do one based on a video game. That's why. Can you imagine like comparing? I mean, not that you don't really get arcade games that are getting made for modern systems, but can you imagine if you did? Imagine like an Arcade Perfect where you're comparing the PlayStation 4 version, the PlayStation 5 version. They're all going to be Arcade Perfect. So it's dull, really, really boring. So that's the reason I've kind of stopped. You stay where you are, mate. See, when you see a wee dude in a wee car and he's got sunglasses on, you're just half expecting him to bloody pull out. So anyway, I thought to myself, why don't I go back and revisit some of the Arcade Perfects that I've done in the past. So I did. I had a look at Pole Position, which was the very, very first one I done. Yeah, I don't know when it was I first done it, probably about 8 years ago, maybe more than that actually, maybe even 10 years ago, can't remember exactly. It is actually one of my highest viewed videos, oddly. So yeah, I did a live Arcade Perfect my arse on Wednesday. There was a lot of faffing about, trying to get various versions to load, etc, etc. So I thought to myself, what I'm going to do after this, I'm going to edit out all the shite, and so you've got a kind of snappier, better version. So I did that, so I put that out today. If you watched the live one, then don't watch this one because there's nothing in it. There's just less content. And what I've done is I've actually hidden the live one, because there's no point in having two videos exactly the same. Can I get past him? Yeah. I'll even get past this wee guy in the C1. Yeah, this car that I've got, it's a lovely car. It's a company car. I could never afford anything like this. You know, I don't know what it costs. I know it's a lot of money if you're to buy something like this. It's a beautiful car. Such a dream to drive. Yeah, and it's easily the most powerful car that I've ever had, you know, to drive before. It's like shit off a shovel. You touch the accelerator and it's away. I'd like to think I'm a very, very careful driver. I don't really speed. I'm saying really, I don't speed as a norm, but it's nice having that extra power there. Just if you want to overtake or whatever, you can just hit the accelerator, get past, and then you can just slow up. So yeah, really, really nice car. Really, really lucky to have it. So that was Wednesday. Thursday last night, I was actually out in Edinburgh with a fellow YouTuber. This is becoming a habit. I mean, I was out with, I had Panther UK and his lovely missus up last weekend or the weekend before, and so yeah, yesterday I was out with Down the Rabbit Hole, who some may know as Kevin. Now, Kevin comes all the way from Canada. He's been doing YouTube just as long as me, maybe slightly less, not much. I think Kevin would agree that when he started, it was very much a social community. You know, we helped each other, and you know, I gave Kevin multiple shout outs over the years, which hopefully helped him kind of grow. I mean, he's now got, I don't know, he's got more subscribers than I have. I know it's got nothing to do with subscribers, but Kevin's got a great channel. He doesn't just play video games, he does all these kind of batshit mental stuff where he'll go to like real life places that were like the set of a film. Like he's been to the Endor Forest that was in Star Wars. He's been all over the place. He does some fantastic videos. So anyway, I'd actually met Kevin and his missus, when did I meet them? I think it was 8 years ago. 8 years ago we met in Glasgow, went out for a lovely meal, and so Kevin got in touch with me, maybe about 2-3 months ago. He says, look, we're planning to come across to the UK for a holiday. They're doing a bit of kind of catch up with family, etc. And so anyway, yeah, I was through in Edinburgh last night, got the train, yeah, met Kevin and his lovely wife Dee. We went out, had a drink just outside the station in Edinburgh, Waverley Station, and then we went to this steak place, Hawksmoor, I think it is, HAWKMOOR, something like that. I asked people on Facebook if they could recommend somewhere for a decent steak, so yeah, we went there, and oh my goodness, my eyes were watering at the prices. But Kevin very, very kindly treated me to my meal, which was really, really nice of him. Fantastic meal, fantastic company. And then afterwards we went back down to the pub, and we got another drink before I had to jump on the train and head home. So that was last night. I said tonight, this weekend, well, I'm not telling you what I'm doing this weekend, that's for next week's waffle. So really, really good, really excellent time. And anybody that says that YouTube's not a real thing, it's fully false people, well, my arse it is. You know, the last two weekends out of 3 I've been with people that I've only got to know through YouTube. So there you go. It is possible to make proper friends through YouTube. So that was really good. See, this is what I can't be bothered. See, people on motorbikes, they just, I don't know what it is, because they've basically got an engine between their legs. They seem to think that they should just overtake everybody, and it's fine if it's safe, but they just always seem to want to overtake, and you've got to be you know, keeping your wits about you, watching out all the time. It just annoys me about some motorbike guys. They just seem to think that they have this God forbidden right to not stick to the speed limit and to just overtake at every opportunity. Yeah, slightly annoying. So what else? Can't think. Obviously, I'm not going to answer any questions, folks, because I don't have. I'm driving, obviously, so I don't. I used to sometimes write them down and read them out, and people used to get upset with me because I was reading and driving, and that's really not clever. So yeah, so just kind of touching on the whole community thing. When I started out on YouTube in 2013, a couple of years later, there was a kind of influx of people from the UK, and well, Kevin's from Canada, and obviously you've got, you know, Lactobacillus prime, Mark, he's from the Netherlands. But sort of the 2014, 2015, there was quite a number of channels that popped up, and we all kind of got to know each other, and the reason being was because there was a lot of community aspect. You know, people would put out the question for the community, you know, I don't know, do you think video games are too expensive, or what do you think of downloadable content, all this kind of stuff, and people engaged in it. I engaged in it, you know, everybody, we all took turns to ask questions to the community, you know, name your 10 reasons why you hate YouTube, just all manner of kind of interesting stuff. Well, I thought it was quite interesting, and we all engaged in it, we all recommended other channels, we all took time to answer it, and you know, it was really, really good. It was a nice kind of community atmosphere. Now that's completely dead. Don't know what it is. I mean, there's quite a few of the channels that I was mentioning earlier on that they don't exist for whatever reason. They just don't really exist. But there's still quite a few of them going, but for whatever reason, the sort of helping each other, mention it, each other's channels, it just doesn't happen anymore. Don't know why. You don't know why. I mean, I was talking to, when I was out with Kevin and Dee last night, Dee sort of mentioned that she said you tend to find that it's UK based channels seem to be more inclined to mention other channels. There is more of a community aspect, excuse me, compared to like American channels or whatever. But that has changed a lot. I don't know why. I don't know whether there's like jealousy, whether people just don't mention other channels because I want everybody to watch my channel and not watch that other person's channel. I don't know what it is, but it's certainly a thing. It's certainly, you definitely see less interaction. The people that watch my channel on a regular basis, we still do mention each other's channels. We still do, if I'm doing a live stream and somebody comes on, I'll say, right, Dale, put a link to your channel, you know, and I'm quite happy for that to happen. Yeah, so you know, within my little group, there is a group of us that we're all pretty close. You know, you've got Kevin down the rabbit hole, you've got Lone Boys Post, you've got like Black to Bacillus Prime, you've got Robert's Gaming, Steve's Retro Gaming, you've got Del Boy, you've got Panther. We still do interact, which is really nice. But out with that, I mean, like Novabug, who he's been doing YouTube pretty much the same length of time as me. I think he's got the same number of subscribers as myself. And you know, Chris is a nice guy. I've met him quite a few times, and there used to be an interaction between him and myself and other people, and even that stopped. I don't know why. I mean, I know Chris, he does his live stream on a Saturday night, and you can see it's the same people that go to his channel, and very few, if any, of Chris's people go to my channel, and there's no real crossover, and I think that's quite sad, because at the end of the day, we're still two channels that have the same interest. You know, Chris is predominantly Amstrad, whatever, but, and it's not, I'm not having a dig at Chris, because, you know, I'm just making, it's a statement that, you know, 10 years ago we would all have mentioned it. And I know Chris, he used to do a thing called the Friday Foursome, where I think you ask 4 questions to name a game, you know, name a game that's got fantastic music, name a game that's got utterly shit graphics, whatever. And I used to take part in that, as did other people, and it was good fun. It was nice to do a question for the community, and then you would look out to see what people were going to answer with, but that's just all stopped. Don't know why. You know what, things do change, and I don't think you're ever really going to I don't see that ever changing anytime soon. So anyway, that's enough kind of complaining. The other thing I was just going to mention about, yeah, I did the live Friday Waffle on, I think it was last Friday actually, and because I've really got nothing else to talk about, what did I do? I played a game, I answered a couple of questions, and I kind of just talked for a wee bit. But there's I decided, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to play some music. So I picked what turned out to be, I think, 17 musical tracks, MP3s, and that meant something to me for whatever reason. And so yeah, I played these and I was talking over them, and of course I knew this was going to happen. The day later, my entire video was blocked in all countries because of copyright. I think the one that blocked, most of them blocked it in the UK, or it blocked certain countries. The one that completely blocked it was Touch Too Much by AC/DC. So it meant I couldn't do it. But so what I did was I redid the video and I cut out all the music, and yeah, I put it out without the music. But I'm going to do another one of these videos again, you know, because I really enjoyed it, and I don't care if it disappears. What I will say is, you know, if you want to see it with the music, then you're going to have to watch it live, if you get my drift. You know, because if you watch the Juice one, there's going to be no music. But I will do that again. It was extremely well received, which was great fun. Whose prices this time? $145. I think that's pretty much the same as it was last time, 2 weeks ago. But I really enjoyed it, and it's a weird thing when you do live videos, because you come away feeling like I've had a great night, and then you realise nobody actually spoke to me. I didn't have anyone to talk to. Well, I did. I had people to talk at, because you can't talk to me. Well, you can message me through the chat thing. But it's great, and I came away. I mean, I was quite kind of pissed off that I couldn't go to my gig. I couldn't go to my girlfriend's. But I came away thinking that was really good. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, and I can't not mention it. Part of that. Dale Boy asked me a question. He asked me if I would, if there was a particular song that resonated with me from an emotional point of view, you know, memory or whatever, what would it be? And then immediately thought about a couple of musical tracks that just remind me of when my mum was dying of cancer. And when I started talking, I immediately clamped up, and it wasn't that I was not wanting to talk. I just couldn't. It wasn't weird, and yeah. And at one point I thought, do I just end the stream and say, you know, and then come back in? And then I thought, you know what? No, I don't. And I wasn't doing it for effect. I'm sure you'll realise that, you know, I'm a genuine person. I wasn't doing it for effect at all. I genuinely got caught in the hop with a question, and I got very emotional, and yeah. So what I've done is I've turned it around in Dale. I've asked him the same question. So tune into Dale's blog on Sunday, and you'll see what he's talking about. So yeah, that's kind of it, folks. I've not got a great deal to talk about. I mean, I'll try and arc this out for the next 10 minutes until I get to my girlfriend's house. Excuse me, I'm going to have a quick drink of water. How's the weather where you are? It's all right. It's not brilliant. Hang on. The weather's been very indifferent. It's been like sunny, it's been cold, it's been wet. Pretty much Scotland. I mean, that's Scotland to a T. Right, let's see what's going on here. Can I get out? No, I can't. There we go, folks. Pullman, Lauriston. There's actually a young offenders prison just about 100 yards on the left hand side there. So that's kind of been my week. Yeah, what have I been playing from a gaming perspective? Still playing Resident Evil 4, the sort of remastered one for the Xbox. An absolute phenomenal game. Even if you've played the original Resident Evil, it's worth it, because you're getting to see it in glorious visuals, I mean, it's I don't know what you can call it. It's not 1080. Well, it's 1080p, I think. Just looks beautiful. Looks absolutely gorgeous. And they've added a lot of stuff in. They've added extra kind of levels and just extra bits to levels, and there's new baddies as well, which look fantastic. So yeah, still playing that. I don't know how far I am. I think I'm probably more than halfway into it. Really enjoying that. Oh yeah, I was meant to be going down to in my new job. I do have a bit of travelling. I've got to go down to the head office, which is in Swindon. So I go down there once a month, and I was due to go down in a couple of weeks' time. And Holly, who some of you may know, Holly did start programming Way Off the Exploding Push game. She's sadly not got any time to return to it because she's a very, very busy girl. She, as well as her day job, she's got involved with now you probably know Retro Man Cave Neil. It's actually one of the few big retro channels that I watch. Neil's an incredibly knowledgeable person, genuinely into the hobby, and what he's done is he's opened up a kind of museum, or he calls it the man cave, and you can go along. Oh crap, that bloody bird managed to avoid it. Anyway, Holly and Neil actually go back quite a time. I think they work together. So about a year ago, Holly started helping at the man cave, and part of this Retro Man Cave, there's actually an arcade, which is in the same building. So Holly is she's now permanently involved in the arcade. I think she fixes stuff. She's an extremely clever person. And anyway, getting back to my trip to Swindon, apparently it's not too far from Holly, so we agreed that she was going to pick me up next month, and we were going to go down to, she was going to take me down to this, down to the arcade, and I was going to do a bit of filming as well. Unfortunately, I was in a Teams meeting this week with my line manager and the client, and it turns out that we're all going to have to go down to Swindon on the same day. And my boss is like, oh, well, I'll tell you what, we can all, since we're all going to be down there, we can all go out for a meal. How does that sound? And I'm like, yeah. Thinking, shit, I'm going to see Holly. But, you know, I didn't want to say anything in the live stream. So, anyway, reluctantly, I've had to postpone it. So, it looks like I'm going out with my boss and the client when I'm down in Swindon for a meal. And, Holly, I told Holly, and she said, look, that's fine, we can move it to next month. It'll give me an opportunity to get more arcade games fixed as well. So it's all good. So it looks like I'm going to be seeing Holly in September, and hopefully going down to the Retro Man Cave. I don't know whether I'll, but in fact it's actually quite good, because when I was meant to be going down in August, she said that Neil was actually, I think he was on holiday, and I wouldn't have got a chance to meet him. But if I'm going down in September, there's a high chance that I'll get to meet Neil. Looking forward to that. You know, if I do go down, I will try and take a bit of footage as well. So it's all good. Looking forward to that. Anything else? I don't think there is, folks. So listen, you've almost got half an hour of me just talking nonsense. I will be along on Sunday. The plan is to do a Sharp X 68,000 stream. It will be the usual time, 7 o'clock until 9. So yeah, listen, I hope you all have a lovely weekend. The Olympics has started, so I'm going to be making a point of watching it. I'm actually on holiday, not next week, the week after. I've taken a week off just to enjoy the Olympics, because for the last, I don't know, probably 20 years I've not been able to do that. Shit, I'm going to have to try and get across here. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to watching the Olympics. And yeah, so listen, I will hopefully see you on Sunday. So till next time, folks, as always, thank you very much for watching.